All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar, and I apologize for the wait. Wanted to give a little bit of extra time for those people that are on holiday and forget that we are actually doing the Daily Roundup. And so that's why I started just a couple minutes late. So I appreciate your patience. You know, it actually was kind of an eventful session. For the most part, it's over now. If you guys were long the euro sterling with me from late last week, if you were in the chat rooms, I actually exited at 72. So just as we're hitting this resistance, and if you got the ForexAnalytix analysis going, you knew we were up here and you knew we were approaching resistance. Even if you're not in the chat room, I sent out an alert or an update, excuse me, not an alert, an update for the euro sterling whenever I can find it. Where did I must have just skipped over it. When it hit the 50% retracement, okay, when I was right here, I sent the update a couple hours ago, and that was basically at the same time when I was exiting my position from Friday. So also I took my short sterling off that I had this morning. I shorted at the previous support, current resistance. It was the 38% retracement was at 29. My short was at 22. I exited at 66, I think. We're at 52 right now. I mean, obviously I didn't get the bottom, but as a trader, I try not to get the top or the bottom. Well, sometimes I get lucky enough to do that. But most of the times what happens is I'm just trying to take the meat of the trade out, not necessarily targeting the exact low or the exact high, but it was a quick gain. It wasn't a huge position because it's this time of year. In between the holidays, the liquidity is pretty poor. We had the fix, and the London fix was what was driving the dollar strength that came through the market. Now, one of the things that I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he's like, yeah, you kind of got to watch the fix because that's telling us, a lot of the real money gets done at that point in time. A lot of real money accounts are trying to, get filled around those types. And what's interesting is you're seeing some of the real money flows are dollar buyers, whether they're covering dollar shorts or whether they're establishing new dollar longs, we can't tell. But it's interesting to see that because the one indication that we've gotten for the end of month from Citigroup is that end of month buying or end of month orders will be dollar buying or dollar selling. I'm sorry, which means the euro would be higher, the sterling be higher, that type of thing. But we're seeing some, dollar buying flows at the fixes in fairly thin markets, and that's why you're getting as big of a dollar move as you are, whether it's the euro during the fix or the sterling at the fix. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see at the end of the month. The euro, in my opinion, is consolidating into a triangle here. I am going to be bearish if we break below these lows here. I'm going to be bearish near term. So if we break through 121.70, what I will do is sell rallies until we get to about 20.50 or 20. At 20, I'm going to be a buyer. I'm going to be an aggressive buyer down here if we get down there. But for right now, I have to assume that we're not getting down there. For right now, I have to assume that we are going to, make efforts to hit a new high. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to stay long or stay short the. I didn't want to stay short the pound is because I know the euro's in a pretty strong uptrend, and if the dollar continues to stay weak and the euro goes higher, then it should continue to drive the at least keep the sterling from imploding. So that's another some other food for thought. The dollar Canadian had a nice little rally today. We'll check this out. This is a double bottom. So if you want to be long the dollar Canadian, this is probably the place to do it, because now if you're long the dollar Canadian, you're targeting 129, right? Your risk is really below like 128.50 at this point. So, and that's not a bad risk reward if you want to be long the dollar Canadian at this point, just looking for a double bottom extension, right? So that's something, just to think about going into tomorrow, I guess. Also, the US dollar Mexican peso held up really well. We rallied to 2010, but I think there's an opportunity for it to rally over to 2020 as well. So anyway, I think that the dollar could continue to gain some strength here, but I can't be bearish to the euro and too bullish the dollar while we're above this, this 120.70, 120.80 level. But it does, the dollar looks vulnerable to a short squeeze, is what I think is happening right now. Now, I want to say, Jane said there was 10-year bond buying. So let's take a look at the boons. Yeah, boons are heading higher. So, and then also probably, whoops. Yeah, 10-year US bonds aren't doing anything today, but the boons were rallying. I want to also say that I saw in our attendee list, Ron is here. Ron, I wanted to say Merry Christmas to you and your family. Oh, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, but Ron, we miss you in the chat rooms. I know he's been hiding out in Hawaii. So I saw you sneaking in here, Ron. So I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to you and your family out there, Ron. That's Cal Lem, for those of you that remember him in the chat room. He's like I said, he's been hiding out in Hawaii. So I just want to say Merry Christmas. But Merry Christmas to you guys and gals, and thank you so much for your continued support. For those of you that are listening in live, yeah, thanks. And I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. If you celebrate Christmas or another holiday, I just hope you had a great one. And we're going to be here for the next 3 days. So I think the market's going to be pretty quiet between now and European Open, but hopefully we'll have some activity going into tomorrow. So thanks, Hugo. Have a great one. And Hugo, it's nice having you in the chat room now. Guys and gals, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. I'll also be in the chat room sporadically for the rest of the day. So talk to you there. Bye-bye.